The text arrived while I was elbow-deep in my latest prototype, soldering iron in one hand, coffee cold beside me in the garage I'd converted into a workshop. My phone buzzed against the workbench, and I almost ignored it. But it buzzed again. Then again. Marcus never sent multiple texts unless he was drunk or in trouble. "Congrats on your innovation award." I set down the soldering iron, frowning. I hadn't submitted anything for an award. The next text made my blood run cold. 100K bonus. Drinks on me this weekend, bro. Then a photo. Marcus in his pressed suit, holding an oversized check and a crystal trophy, standing next to the CEO of Nexus Technologies, where he worked as a mid-level project manager. But it wasn't his smiling face that made my hands shake. It was the display behind him. My design. My sustainable water filtration system that I'd been perfecting for 3 years. Every curve, every component, every innovation I'd sketched and resketched at this very workbench. Even the name, Aquapure Pro, that I'd registered for the patent application 6 months ago. I stumbled backward, knocking over my coffee. The brown liquid spread across my sketches, but I barely noticed. My mind raced, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. The only person who knew about my design was Marcus, I whispered. My older brother. The golden child who'd gone to business school while I'd wasted time tinkering in the garage. The one who'd laughed when I'd turned down corporate jobs to pursue my own innovations. The one I'd trusted when he'd asked to see my work during Thanksgiving dinner. "Just curious what keeps you so busy," he'd said, seeming genuinely interested for once. "Mom says you're out here all hours." I'd been so pathetically grateful for his attention that I'd shown him everything. The prototypes, the test results, even pulled up the patent application on my computer to show him the technical drawings. He'd asked questions, taken photos for inspiration, even offered to help find investors through his company connections. Now I understood why he'd been so interested. My phone rang. "Marcus, did you see?" His voice was electric with excitement. "Can you believe it? They fast-tracked the whole thing. Said it was the most innovative design they'd seen in years. I mean, I had to modify your concept a bit, make it commercially viable, but..." "My concept." The words came out strangled. "Well, yeah. I mean, you had the basic idea, but I'm the one who figured out how to present it, how to make it profitable. That's the real innovation, right? Taking a garage project and turning it into something real." "Marcus." My voice was deadly calm. "That's my exact design. My patent application. My 3 years of work." Silence. "Then come on, Naomi. Don't be like that. It's not like you were doing anything with it. Sitting in your garage, playing inventor while I'm out there in the real world. I gave your little project life. You stole it. I improved it. I connected it with people who matter. That's worth more than..." I hung up. My hands were shaking so badly, I could barely dial the next number. "Patent office, how may I direct your call? I need to check the status of a provisional patent application. Number 62/555-891. The hold music seemed to last forever. Finally, I show that application was withdrawn 2 weeks ago. Withdrawn? By whom? The applicant of record. Naomi Fuller. I'm Naomi Fuller. I never withdrew anything. Ma'am, I show the withdrawal was submitted electronically with proper authentication. Username nfuller88. Security question answered correctly. My stomach dropped. My laptop. The one I'd left open during Thanksgiving while helping Mom in the kitchen. The one with saved passwords because I lived alone and thought I was safe in my own home. Is there a way to reverse? I'm sorry, ma'am. Once withdrawn, you'd need to file a new application. But if someone else has already filed for the same invention. I knew how the sentence ended. First to file wins. I spent the next 3 hours on the phone with lawyers, each one telling me the same thing. Proving theft of intellectual property was expensive and difficult. Did I have documentation? Witnesses? Evidence that the design was mine originally? Everything's on my computer, I told the fourth lawyer. Years of files, tests, iterations. Which he had access to? He's my brother. I trusted him. That'll make it harder, not easier. Juries tend to side with family unity. Unless you have something concrete. I stared at my laptop, thinking. Marcus had been thorough, but was he thorough enough? He'd always been sloppy with details, relying on charm and connections rather than hard work. Maybe. I opened my email, searching for any reference to Aquapure. Most of my work was in CAD files and handwritten notebooks, but surely I'd sent something, somewhere. Nothing. He'd been more thorough than I'd thought. But as I scrolled through my sent folder, something caught my eye. Emails I hadn't sent. Dozens of them, all from the past 2 weeks, all to Marcus's work email. "Hey bro, attaching my latest revisions for your project, winky face. Made some tweaks to your brilliant filtration idea. Can't wait to see what you do with this." Each one had attachments. My CAD files, my test results, my research, all sent from my email to his, creating a paper trail that made it look like I'd been helping him all along. Like it had always been his project. "You bastard," I breathed. But something was off. The timestamps. I pulled up my calendar, cross-referencing the dates. November 15th, 3:47 p.m. I'd been at the dentist. November 18th, 2:23 a.m. I was asleep. November 20th, 11:15 a.m. Grocery shopping with mom. He'd sent these emails while I wasn't home, while I couldn't have been on my computer. I screenshotted everything, then noticed something else. The email client. Marcus had used the web interface, not my usual desktop application. Web interfaces logged IP addresses. My fingers flew across the keyboard, diving into settings I'd never needed before. There. Login history. IP addresses for every session. Most were my home IP. But the ones corresponding to those emails? Different. I copied the address, ran it through a lookup tool. Nexus Technologies' corporate network. He'd sent the emails from his office, from his work computer, creating a digital trail that led right back to him. My phone rang. Unknown number. "Ms. Fuller? This is Janet Morrison from Nexus Technologies Human Resources. I'm calling about a delicate matter regarding your brother's recent innovation submission." My heart raced. "Yes, we found some unusual emails in our system during a routine security audit. Emails that appeared to be from your address, but originated from our network. Our IT department flagged them as potential security breaches. I wonder if you could help us understand what happened." I closed my eyes, decision made. "I'll tell you everything, but I think we should meet in person, with your legal department present." 3 days later, I sat in a glass conference room on the 40th floor of the Nexus building. Across from me were Janet from HR, 2 lawyers, the head of IT security, and the CEO himself, Richard Blackwood, whose signature was on Marcus's giant novelty check. I'd brought everything. Notebooks dating back 3 years. Photos of prototypes with timestamps. The original patent application with my digital signature. University transcripts showing my engineering degree, the one Marcus had mocked as impractical. "Walk us through the timeline," Janet said gently. So I did. 3 years of development. Every iteration, every failure, every breakthrough at 2 a.m. when normal people were sleeping but inventors were chasing perfection. I showed them the trail, not just of invention, but of obsession. Coffee-stained notebooks. Photos of my garage workshop evolving as the project grew. Receipts for specialized components that matched my credit card statements. "And then Thanksgiving?" the lawyer prompted. Marcus seemed interested. For the first time ever, he wanted to know about my work. I paused, embarrassment burning. I was happy. My brother finally taking me seriously. I showed him everything. "Including your patent application?" "On my laptop, yes." He asked to see the technical drawings. Said he might know investors. The IT director pulled up something on his tablet. These emails started 2 days later. All sent during business hours from a terminal in the project management department. Terminal 4B7. "That's Marcus's desk," Janet said quietly. "He logged into my email from his work computer," I explained. "Created a fake trail to make it look like I'd been sending him the designs. Like it was his project all along." "Why use our network?" the CEO asked, frowning. "Why not do this from home?" The IT director answered. "Timestamp manipulation. Our email servers would show when the emails were actually sent versus received. From an external network, he could have altered headers. But internal emails? Those timestamps are locked." "He didn't know that," I said. "Marcus isn't technical. He probably thought using my account was enough." They exchanged glances. The CEO cleared his throat. "Ms. Fuller, I need to ask. Are you seeking money?" "No." I met his eyes. "I want my design, my patent, my recognition. The money can go to charity for all I care. But I won't let him steal 3 years of my life and call it his innovation." "The award ceremony was public," the lawyer said carefully. "Retracting it would be embarrassing," I suggested. "More embarrassing than knowingly profiting from stolen intellectual property?" More embarrassing than a fraud lawsuit. Janet pulled up something on her laptop. There's more. We've been investigating some irregularities in Marcus's past projects. This isn't the first time he submitted ideas that seemed beyond his technical capabilities. My stomach turned. There are others? 2 former interns. Both had collaborated with Marcus on projects that earned him promotions. Both left the company shortly after. We're reaching out to them now. The CEO stood abruptly. I've heard enough. Janet, I want a full investigation. Every project Marcus has submitted. Every email from his terminal. Everything. He turned to me. Ms. Fuller, on behalf of Nexus Technologies, I apologize. This is not who we are. What happens now? I asked. First, we'll need you to file a police report for identity theft and intellectual property theft. We'll cooperate fully. Second, we'll be returning all materials related to the Aquapure Pro system to you immediately. Third, he paused. Would you consider letting Nexus properly license your technology? With you credited as inventor and compensated accordingly? I blinked. You still want it? Ms. Fuller, your filtration system could provide clean water to millions. It's brilliant. The fact that it was stolen doesn't diminish its value. If anything, knowing the true story behind it, the garage inventor who wouldn't give up, makes it more compelling. And Marcus, his face hardened, will be handling his situation with legal. 2 hours later, I walked out of the Nexus building with a business card for their head of product development and a promise of a call from legal within 24 hours. My phone had been silent the whole meeting, but as soon as I stepped outside, it exploded. 17 missed calls from Marcus. 43 texts ranging from "we need to talk" to "you're overreacting" to "you're really going to destroy your own brother?" I didn't answer any of them. The next morning, local news picked up the story. Corporate theft exposed by email trail. Marcus's photo next to mine, the truth laid bare. My phone rang non-stop, reporters, lawyers, and surprisingly, other inventors who'd had ideas stolen by trusted friends or family. Marcus showed up at my house that evening. I watched through the security camera as he pounded on the door. Naomi, open up. This is insane. You're ruining my life over some garage project. I called the police. Identity theft charges had been filed. He was violating the restraining order I'd requested. As they led him away, he screamed, "You're choosing some stupid invention over family." "No," I said to my empty workshop. "I'm choosing integrity over a thief who happens to share my DNA." The legal process took months. Marcus was fired, obviously, charged with identity theft, corporate espionage, and fraud. He pled guilty to avoid jail time, receiving probation and restitution requirements that would take him years to pay off. Nexus licensed the Aquapure Pro system for a sum that let me quit worrying about money and focus on what I loved, inventing. They insisted on keeping the story public, spinning it as a commitment to innovation and integrity. The real inventor's photo replaced Marcus's on their wall of innovations. My parents struggled with the fallout. How could their golden boy be a thief? How could their tinkerer daughter be the real success? Family dinners became minefields until I finally stopped attending. Some bridges, once burned by betrayal, aren't worth rebuilding. But in my garage workshop, now expanded and properly equipped, I keep creating. The Aquapure Pro is being manufactured, heading to communities that need clean water. My name is on the patent, the papers, the products. And on my workbench, framed as a reminder, is a printout of the email that started it all. The IT security report showing Marcus's terminal number. The timestamp proving I couldn't have sent those messages. The digital trail he thought was so clever. He was right about one thing. Taking a garage project and making it real was the true innovation. He just didn't realize that innovation includes protecting what you create from those who would steal it. Even especially when they're family. Especially when they think you're too small, too unimportant, too garage-bound to fight back. He thought wrong.